Mangwana ni mwalelepo vukenjani keklas vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa. Good morning. On today's show, Zambia is divided over funeral plans for former President Edgar Lungu, with his family and the state at odds. In Kenya, protests intensify after the death of a political blogger in police custody. We also spotlight Burundi's lopsided elections, Zimbabwe's uncertain path with the ZiG currency, and alarming global displacement figures from the UNHCR. In Namibia, we bring updates on digital inclusion, property sector training, and a growing legal rights app, plus China's economic play in Africa and a 500 million euro logistics investment from DHL. Watch us on DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, and NTV Africa on YouTube. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top story shortly.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts, starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more, or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
A deepening feud between Zambia's current government and the family of late President Edgar Lungu has taken center stage following his death last week in South Africa. According to a family spokesman, Lungu explicitly lodged battle over funeral plans. The Patriotic Front, PF, Lungu's party, alleges he was effectively banned from leaving Zambia for years and suggests his death could have been avoided, and he assessed treatment earlier, a claim that government denies access treatment rather. Now, efforts to return Lungu's body were delayed after disagreements between state officials and the family, who prefer a private burial while the government seeks a state funeral. Foreign Minister Mulambo Haimbe emphasized the need for a unified national send-off, while the family insists the deceased wishes must be honored. As Zambians remain confused over mourning protocols caught between state venues and PF party directives, calls have emerged for a legal framework governing presidential funerals. Once defeated in 2021, Lungu had returned to active politics and remained PF's most prominent figure before being constitutionally barred from running again. The emotional and political standoff continues to cast a shadow over national mourning. Here is Grindstone Media's video featuring Lungu family lawyer Makebi Zulu conveying the family's message regarding Edgar Lungu's funeral arrangements.
Ladies and gentlemen, a statement on behalf of the Edgar Lungu family from Joburg in South Africa. On Thursday, 5th June 2025, the 6th Republican President, Dr. Edgar Lungu, died here in South Africa. Following his death, the family has had several engagements with the government of the Republic of Zambia with two delegations. The first was led by Mr. Mulambo Haimbe, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the second by Mr. Enoch Kavindele, a former president who was deputized by Mr. Leslie Mbula, a former secretary to the cabinet. In the company of the said two was and is Mr. Patrick Kangwa, the current secretary to the cabinet. At the said meetings, it was made known that the family had already put in place all logistics to address the wishes of the deceased, that his mortal remains be conveyed by the family privately and not the government of the Republic of Zambia, and that President Hakainde Hichilema should not be anywhere near the body of President Edgar Lungu for reasons that have since become common cause. The family is disturbed by the desire of the government of the Republic of Zambia to convey the mortal remains of the 6th Republican President in ways that suggest that they have no say, that is the family, that the family has no say in the manner the same will be conveyed and how they desire that he be mourned. In the conveyance of the remains, it is the desire of the family that the conscience of the deceased should not be betrayed and that the death of the sixth Republican president does not repose any superior rights to the government that exceed those of the family. In the said meetings, the government changed positions on proposals that they earlier said were agreeable after returning from purported consultations. The family finds it difficult to continue engaging with the government, which has preset conditions that suggest that the family has no say in the fundamental issues relating to the manner the deceased is to be mourned and the conveyance of his remains. Matters of conscience for both the deceased and the family should not be sacrificed at the altar of convenience by the government. The family remains committed to the sixth Republican president being mourned in a befitting manner by both the nation, foreign dignitaries, and the family. The public will be informed on alternative arrangements amongst the available options. I thank you.
Now, last night, President Hakainde Hichilema called for unity, dignity, and restraint during the ongoing national mourning of Zambia's sixth Republican President, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Addressing the nation, President Hichilema emphasized the need to uphold democratic values and the rule of law while honoring the late leader's legacy. He acknowledged the emotional gravity of the moment, urging citizens to respect differing opinions.
Fellow citizens, it has now been 7 days, since the untimely passing of our sixth Republican President, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Our thoughts remain with the bereaved family, whose pain is shared by many across the nation. I wish to make a solemn call, a call for peace, a call for love, a call for unity. Let us embrace the bereaved family, the Patriotic Front Party, and their supporters with compassion and solidarity. Our political differences do not make us enemies. They make us participants in a dynamic democracy, a family with different views but shared aspirations. This diversity of opinion is a fundamental right that must be protected, especially in times of national mourning. We understand that some among us may express their pain through anger. And while this is human, or a human response to loss, we must meet it with understanding, patience, and indeed restraint. Now more than ever, compassion must guide our actions. To our members in the UPND, to other political parties, all national stakeholders, I urge you to respond to this moment with dignity, empathy, and respect. Do not allow yourselves to be drawn into provocation or division fueled by those who seek to exploit our pain for political gain. Let love lead. Let unity bind us. Let our conduct reflect the greatness of our spirit as Zambians. As president, my sacred duty is to serve all citizens, regardless of political affiliation, ethnicity, race, or creed. Now is the time to put aside our differences, to rise above division, to work together for the common good. We make this humble and sincere plea. Let us allow the people of Zambia to bid farewell to their former president with respect and honor that befits the high office he once held.
All right. Let's move on to the next story. Protests erupted with fiery intensity in Nairobi, Kenya yesterday as demonstrators clashed with police over the custodial death of political blogger Albert Ojwang. The 31-year-old, known for his commentary on political and social issues, died under mysterious circumstances after being detained for allegedly defaming Deputy Police Chief Eluid Lagat. Initial police reports claimed he fatally injured himself in custody, but President William Ruto later confirmed Ojwang died at the hands of the police. The contradiction sparked outrage, with protesters chanting "Lagat must go" and waving Kenyan flags as police fired tear gas and 2 vehicles were set ablaze. An autopsy revealed injuries consistent with assault, including neck compression and soft tissue trauma, contradicting the suicide narrative. Police Inspector General Douglas Kanja issued a public apology, admitting Ojwang did not die by suicide as previously stated. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority has launched a formal investigation, and calls for justice have come from both the European Union and the United States. The unrest in Nairobi reflects broader frustration with Kenya's security services, long accused of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearances, as citizens demand accountability in Ojwang's death and systemic reform in law enforcement practices. Burundi's ruling party, the CNDD-FDD, has claimed a complete sweep in the country's legislative elections, winning all 100 contested seats, a result that has ignited allegations of fraud and sparked discontent among opposition groups. The official results show that they secured 96.51% of the vote, leaving all other parties below 2% in the threshold needed for parliamentary representation. The main opposition, the National Congress for Liberty, was effectively excluded from the race, with many of its leaders removed and members reportedly detained during the campaign. Civil society organizations reported a climate of intimidation, including the arrest of opposition polling agents on election day. Although officials described the vote as peaceful, critics argued that the appearance of calm masked deep irregularities, such as certain areas recording 100% turnout with no invalid ballots, figures experts call statistically improbable. President Evariste Ndayishimiye, who succeeded Pierre Nkurunziza in 2020, had promised democratic reforms, but this outcome suggests further entrenchment of one-party rule, with the CNDD-FDD now holding unchecked power amid an economic crisis. Many observers worry that Burundi's already fragile democracy is descending into entrenched authoritarianism. Now, according to Nehanda Radio Zimbabwe, the International Monetary Fund's endorsement of Zimbabwe's ZiG currency as the sole legal tender has stirred deep skepticism across the country, despite the IMF mission chief Wojciech Maliszewski expressing support for the move pending appropriate conditions. Zimbabweans remain worried due to a long history of monetary policy failures. Introduced in April 2024 and touted as gold-backed, the ZiG is Zimbabwe's sixth currency shift since 2009, but still suffers from serious trust deficits. Price Check's analysis warns that without fundamental changes, including a functional foreign exchange market, adequate physical notes, and restored public trust, the mono-currency goal may trigger another crisis. Currently, the black market still dominates, fueled by a lack of ZiG cash, its highest denomination being worth just 50 US cents, and a stubbornly wide gap between official parallel exchange rates. With citizens still haunted by frozen bank accounts and past currency wipeouts, the real obstacle is psychological, a deep-rooted fear of government mismanagement. Analysts insist that pushing forward without resolving these core issues will not stabilize Zimbabwe's economy, but may instead deepen the turmoil. In the last of our top stories, at least 123.2 million people across the globe are currently forcibly displaced due to conflict, violence, persecution, or human rights violations, according to a new UNHCR report. This marks a 6% rise from the end of 2023, continuing a grim 13-year trend. Internally displaced people make up 60% of this figure, with 73.5 million uprooted within their own countries. Although forced displacement slightly decreased to 122.1 million by April 2025, the humanitarian toll remains staggering. Gaza alone has seen 90% of its population displaced by Israel's ongoing assault. While the number of refugees dropped slightly in 2024 to 42.7 million, Sudanese refugee numbers surged. The number of asylum seekers awaiting decisions rose by 22% to 8.4 million. Conflict in countries like Sudan, mostly to unstable regions like Afghanistan, Syria, and South Sudan, Let's dive into the news from Namibia. This week, Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia, CRAN CEO Emilia Ngikembwa provided an update on the Universal Service Fund, which aims to improve connectivity in Namibia's underserved rural areas. The fund received a 145 million Namibian dollar capital injection from the government in March. The initiative is intended to expand telecommunications access in remote regions, addressing disparities in digital infrastructure. Ngikembwa's remarks outlined CRAN's ongoing efforts to implement the fund's objectives, though no specific projects or timelines were disclosed. The allocation reflects the government's commitment to enhancing nationwide connectivity as part of broader digital inclusion strategies.
This is a bold step towards ensuring that every Namibian, regardless of location, has access to quality information and communication technology services. This initiative reflects our shared commitment to using digital connectivity as a driver for national development. At CRAN, we believe that connectivity is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity, and a basic necessity for that matter. It enables learning, supports healthcare delivery, promotes entrepreneurship, and strengthens communities. Yet too many rural and underserved areas remain without adequate access. The Universal Service Fund is therefore our strategic tool, carefully curated to bridge this digital divide.
Now, also this week, Oryx Properties hosted a welcoming event for new graduates and bursary students at the Marua Mall rooftop, reinforcing its commitment to tackling Namibia's property industry skills shortage. The initiative provides hands-on training in finance, asset management, and operations to cultivate industry-ready talent. Oryx Properties CEO Ben Euster explained that the program was developed to address the sector's critical skills gap and now collaborates with local universities to offer graduates practical experience.
So Oryx Properties started this program a few years ago due to a number of things. One, first, there's a very large skills gap or skills shortage within the Namibian space, especially within the property sector. So we realized a few years ago that it took us Time to fill positions, and that scarcity challenge was really a big challenge that we had to try and solve. And subsequently what we've done is we've within Oryx started this program, but we've also started a Namibia Property Association where we're aiming to solve some of the skill set challenges within Namibia. The great thing for us is to partner with the local universities who's already taking these candidates through the motions in terms of their initial learning, and that means that we can take these students out of university and give them an opportunity to come into the real life, experience the industry as we know it in all facets of our business. So we've got a 2-year program where we take these candidates on a 6-month rolling basis into the different departments, being property finance, asset management, property management and operations. And that really gives them a very broad overview from managing your properties day to day, making investment decisions, how to account in the property industry specific to our industry, and understanding what it means to work within our sector. So we see this as a program that's got a lot of benefits, not just for the employee or the graduate, but also for us as Oryx.
Now, software developer Shane Mukungu from the Mind in Action STEAM Center revealed that the Constitution app has attracted 4,354 users since its launch a year ago. Mukungu shared these statistics during a public discussion on advancing human rights organized by the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung in partnership with Minds in Action. While outlining the app's development journey and current progress, she encouraged Namibian law students to utilize this digital platform instead of relying on printed copies, highlighting both its environmental advantages and practical convenience for legal research and reference. The update underscores the app's growing adoption as a legal resource tool.
We started off very few, but we are growing steadily. And yes, our head office is in Seiderov, Houston Machine Tooling and Minds in Action. So this app is designed to digitize the Namibian constitution. Again, when we digitize, I understand that most people do get left out in terms of not having smartphones, not having internet, just like it was mentioned before. We have found ways to combat most of these issues, but some issues we are still looking for ways to combat them, which is why we have you here to help us find ways to fix them. Yes, so our app is a free app. You go online to download it, and it's also available offline. So after you download it, you don't need to connect to the internet anymore. How many people have the app in their phones? How many people have even heard of the app? Thank you. Thank you. So I believe that most of the people here are involved in the law in one way or another. Or if not the law, then in the digital space. So I would just advise that if you haven't downloaded the app yet, please feel free to.
So that's been the Namibia Report, and that has been our show. Thank you very much for staying with us as we highlighted Zambia's presidential funeral dominating today's Africa Good Morning, followed by fiery protests in Kenya after a blogger's death in police custody. We also reported on Burundi's controversial elections, Zimbabwe's skeptical response to the IMF-backed ZiG currency, and the UNHCR's latest displacement figures. DStv 285, GOtv 25, 1up2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. We'll certainly be getting an update on the Zambia situation on Monday as our correspondent Mike Sichula joins us. But for now, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay warm. Swera Jaganaka.